you must be on top of the world. Such a great start to the season. Did you envisage this coming, especially against a side like Melbourne?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been an awesome start. I think we knew what we were capable of, I guess, at the end of pre-season and stuff. So to be able to, I guess, be 4-0 is very pleasing. But as we all know, things can change very quickly in the AFLW space. So, yeah, we'll definitely bank those 4 wins. And, yes, just heaps proud of the girls. And, yeah, it has been a really pleasing start to the season.
And even the start of the game, you just came out firing. I guess you should have been a long way ahead, but a bit of inaccurate kicking. But did you always expect them to come back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we wanted to start the game with immense pressure because we know, Melbourne don't love the pressure, and we certainly found that throughout the 3 quarters. But, yeah, kicking, I think it was 4-11, it isn't what we want to be kicking. I mean, we probably should have kicked a few more goals, but we'll work on that on the training track. But, Melbourne are a great side, and, yeah, we knew what they were capable of. So to get the win is great. But, yeah, that fourth quarter, I think our pressure was still okay, but Melbourne were able to, I guess, get the ball in their hands, and yeah, a couple of quick inside 50s gave them opportunities to kick a couple of goals.
And your own form, just about getting the liver poisoning. Is this your best season, do you think, so far?
I don't know whether it's my best season, but I guess being able to be consistent week in, week out. I think we've got a very good balance of girls, I guess, impacting games this season. It's probably what we potentially lacked a little bit last year. We were, still trying to find our feet, our younger ones. But I guess to be able to see the likes of, Madison Newman come in on the weekend, Chelsea Bedell's been amazing down back, Abby Ballard helping out through the midfield as well as the forward. And then we've seen the evolution of Shelley Martin and Hannah Button. So, I mean, it's great to be consistent, and I certainly know what I have to do, I guess, to help this team be successful. But the pleasing thing for me is we've definitely had a heap more, contributing and really impacting, helping us win the games.
Is it just with your game bringing that to a new level? Do you feel fitter? Do you put that down to it a bit?
I think, being in the system for 6 years, I certainly feel fitter and stronger each year, as hopefully I should. It definitely doesn't get easier. I think this pre-season just gone was my hardest I've ever been a part of, and I'm sure you'll hear most of our girls say it was the hardest pre-season. We'll push to our absolute limits. I don't think I've ever nearly broken before, but I certainly did a couple of times. I didn't break, but I nearly did. But, I definitely, feel as fit as and stronger as I've ever been. But, I just want to keep being able to be consistent. So hopefully we get there at the last day of the season and get our ultimate success, which is we'll be holding up that shiny cup.
And I just wanted to ask about Chelsea. How's the hammy?
Yeah, I mean, we had recovery day yesterday, and I think, obviously just managing that was actually really disappointing because last week she was flying on the track, as Randall does. So she definitely did all the right things. So it's, I guess, really disappointing for her, obviously, to come off. I think it was in the second quarter, so quite early on in the game. But she'll be assessed, and I think they'll just potentially have to be a little bit extra cautious this time around, even though she ticked all the boxes. But in typical Randall style, she's up and about.
So do you think she will miss one now just to be safe?
I'm definitely no expert, so I'm not sure I'll be able to answer that. But, like I said, they'll do all the right things, but potentially, just be a little bit more cautious, given the fact that ticked all the boxes, but still, tweaked it a little bit. So, that will be dealt with later on in the week if she gets up for this week's game.
Lovely.
All right.
Thanks, Noffy.
Thanks, Vicky. Channel 10, please.
Hey, just continuing on with the talk about Randall. Was there any reason to play her against Demons? Like, granted, she's a captain and she ticked all the boxes, but you're in this situation now where you're flying and almost don't need her because you're that good. Yeah,
well, because she ticked all the boxes to play, I mean, that would be really silly not to play your captain when she's capable of playing. So I don't think there's any reason that she shouldn't have played. Like I said, everyone's seen Randall flying, and she was flying last week on the training track. So I guess to be told you're not playing when you're fit to play, that's not what we're about here at the footy club. if you pass the test to play and you're in our best 21, you'll be picked to play.
You're talking about the depth before. Does that change your mindset in the engine room, considering now it's not so heavily weighted on you and Anne and co?
I think it's just more, I guess, the girls having trust and belief that they can really impact the games. It certainly doesn't take away from our game. We keep doing what we're doing week in, week out. It just means that they can have a little bit more of an influence on the game. And I guess that's just how we're going to evolve as a team and have stronger depth. And again, we've had a few ins and out with the health and protocols, and everyone that's come in has really impacted. And they just haven't come in and made up the numbers. They've actually really impacted the game and helped us get the 4 points each week.
How's the group feeling now after a few rounds, after still being undefeated, and sort of the buzz amongst the group, considering, you have missed a couple of players through COVID protocols and other things?
Yeah, I mean, we're a really special bunch. I feel really privileged to be part of this group, as well as our staff and everyone that, I guess, are embedded on our culture. And we certainly have that mentality of, one in, all in. So it's great to have girls come in and impact this season and that. But I mean, we're up and about, but we certainly know it's a long season. But it's just been, I guess, super exciting to be a part of wins early on. And like I said before, like being 4-0 is great because we've done so much work in the preseason. So to be able to play the way we has been great. And the vibes are great. We certainly take every week as it comes. So we'll just keep doing what we've been doing.
Can you expand on what makes it so special?
Yeah, so I think we've been known and renowned for our great culture, but we just have a really good understanding of what we need to do as a team. We're really close on and off the field, but, that's not being in each other's pockets every day. That's just having a really good understanding of each and everyone's needs and wants. And we just get along on like a house on fire, and we're a very driven bunch. So when we're on the training track, it's having fun, but it's training hard. And I probably just put it down to everyone being on the same page. I mean, we spoke a lot in the preseason why we were here and what we wanted to achieve. And we don't shy away from the fact that we're here, 3-4 times a week to train to be the best team in the comp. And I think just everyone being on the same page when they come into this footy club to come in and get better each time they walk in the four walls is probably why we're been so great for so long. But we keep continuing building our relationships and it's great to be a part of.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Liz Walsh from the Tizer, please.
Danny, hello, Ebony. How are you?
Yeah.
Just back onto that fitness that you mentioned. Obviously, last year you had a really successful season as well. You made the grand final. But like you said, you speak to everyone and everyone says how, all they did in the preseason was run, etc. Was fitness something that was identified as needing improvement from last season, even though it was a successful year? Was that a key area that needed improving?
If I'm honest, probably not. Actually, we've always been one of the fitter teams. We pride ourselves on our fitness and our strength. I think you'll find when people talk about our team, we've always been known to be fit and strong. But probably just that mentality of everyone's wanting to get bigger, faster, and stronger. So we always know we have to take that to another level in preseason, which we do year on, year out. But I think it was just the mentality of how we're going to get an extra edge. But I don't think it's definitely been a weakness, but as a group, you always need to get better because everyone's getting better. So that's probably where that mentality came from.
For you personally, what has that meant? Are you actually seeing you can run out games better, or you're running faster, or anything like that?
Definitely. I think, probably, obviously I'm a contested ball winner, but just being able to, I guess, open the game up a bit more. As a collective, I definitely feel like I'm covering the ground probably the best I have. I think that potentially could come down to how we're playing a little bit in terms of using our wings, and trying to be a little bit more fancy with our game. I mean, we're pretty attacking team, but I feel great. I remember in pre-season And I think we started with conditioning at the start of training, and then we did a conditioning smash time block in the middle of training, and we thought we were done. And we ended up doing another conditioning set, and it was actually, I was running at the top by myself, and Jazzy Simmons climbed up 2 cones to, run it with me and actually get me through. Probably wouldn't have if she wasn't running with me. So yeah, we've all got the mentality of just push ourselves to breaking point, so we can, run out these games and really grind it for the next, 5 to 7 weeks.
So obviously Randall, there's an injury cloud over her. What about Anne Hatchard? She went in with, her foot being, potentially a bit dicey. Has she pulled up okay? Do you know?
Yeah, so, I mean, Hatch's, I think it's common knowledge that she's been dealing with, a minor foot injury throughout pre-season. Had a little bit of an interruption through that. But, yeah, she's been managing that really well with our doc and our physios. So, yeah, she's a little bit sore from the game as expected, as most of our girls should be, considering it was a pretty contested match. But, again, she'll continue to, I guess, manage that. And obviously, she got up to play on the weekend, and I'm sure we'll see her out next Sunday. But, yeah, it's just managing. I don't think anyone's 100%, 4 or so games in on the list. But, yeah, Hatch is in good spirits as well.
Oh, good. And what about Erin Phillips? She had a standout game on the weekend. No surprises there?
Yeah, no, absolute superstar. And I guess, they're working so well down in the forward unit, as we kind of are across all lines, and probably why we've been so successful at the start of the season. But, yeah, I guess to see her in the form that she is super exciting. And, I can't wait. And I love playing with her. Obviously play with her from the start. Yeah, we have a really good connection. I think someone told me the other day, all you do is kick to Erin Phillips, but no, it's pretty good when you're kicking the ball to someone like that, because she's got someone on her tail. She's probably going to take and test mark, or if she's leading, she's 5 steps ahead of her opponent.
Thanks, Eb.
Steve from the AAP.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, Ebony. I just wanted to touch on the defensive record too. I mean, you can see, 63 points in 4 games. I know the attack and your midfielders get a lot of the credits, but what do you put that down to? I mean, is it system, personnel, or why are you so hard to score against?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting when you get to talk about Team D, because they probably don't get the credit they deserve. But, I mean, in the 4 walls, they certainly do. Team D have their own tops made, so they're a pretty tight bunch. But, yeah, it's definitely the personnel down there in the system. I mean, we talk about the likes of Chelsea Randall and Sarah Allen just being our mainstays down back. But it's your Nadja Allens. I mean, she kept Kate Hoare, who's, one of the best small forwards, to 4 disposals and 0 goals on the weekend. And then you've got MJ, who, does a really good job on anyone week in, week out. And then you've just got Nikki Gore, who comes in every week and just does her role. I mean, she doesn't touch the footy a lot, but when she does, she just plays with absolute aggression. So I think you hear about, those girls that have learned off, Randall and Sarah Allen. And then probably my favourite this season is the rise of Chelsea Biddell. She spent a bit of time on Taylor Harris on the weekend, and she absolutely killed it. And, so proud of her and the way she's gone about it in the preseason. And now she's a starting backman in what we think's the best team in the comp.
And it's a bit of a cliche. I mean, particularly in the men's one, that defence wins premierships. Do you subscribe to that, or how do you, I guess, balance that up with the other aspects of the game?
Oh, I mean, we can't win games without the team defence, and they've been stacking up really well. Like you said, I think they've had 60 points scored against them in 4 games, and I guess just to be able to see them go about it, it's so cool. I mean, I play with them, so I can only imagine what oppositions are thinking when they're looking up their matchups. They're just an exciting bunch, and certainly are going to be the reason why we continue our success this season.
Thank you. So,
Fox Sports. No Jono. All right, we've got Ellie from On the Edge.
Hi, Ebony. Obviously, you've got Carlton this week. What do you sort of have to do to build off the performance against Melbourne to get that win?
Yeah, I think one of our biggest strengths this season is kind of taking it week by week. I mean, we knew that our draw was quite hard and challenging, but Doc always emphasises, you've got to beat the best and play the best to be the best. So we actually have had some really amazing games against Carlton since the inaugural year. It's always a battle, and sometimes you just come up against teams and no matter, how well they've been going, you just know you're going to be in for a fight. They love the contested ball. I mean, they've got Maddie Press-Parkis in there, who's an absolute gun, and down forward, they've got, the likes of Nicola Stevens and Darcy Vesio, and then well led by Karen Harrington down in the back line. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really good challenge for us because they love the contest, as do we, and their game is built around contest, and they do have that X factor. So I think we'll just make sure that we've got our pressure up like we have had all season, and it's probably just being able to sustain that for 4 quarters on a big ground in Icon Park.